There's a clear code for success. During 2025, we will have 1 million customers. In 25 years, that number will grow to 100 million. How? 25 customers per partner. The past 20 years, we've been building and refining the vehicle that brought us here. Driven by the power of preventative health, science, and test-based personalized nutrition. At the core of everything we do is our vision. Inspire change in life. This vision keeps us moving forward, while our mission fuels us each day. We inspire health and wealth for our customers, families, and friends. We have challenged the status quo since 2005, and we're here to revolutionize the direct selling industry with the belief that personal growth and business growth go hand in hand. It's your attitude, hunger, and action that push us to the highest level. It's all about progress and strength in numbers. We succeed by working together, because in reality, the big deal is just a lot of small deals put together. And when we join forces, the impact becomes exponential. Are you ready to make your mark? This is your moment. This is the code that unites us for success.
Tere imelist õhtut, tere imelist alanud septembrikuud kõigile. Ilmselt on tegemist ka tarkuse või teadmiste kuuga. Ja nagu ikka, meil on ka siis väga hea rõõm alustada seda kuud suure ja kõrge lennuga, sellepärast et täna meil on tulemas, ma ei tahaks öelda selliseid supersõnu täna, aga no ikka mega koolitus, mega ägedate esinejatega niimoodi, et ma olen ise olnud õhinas sellest juba mitu nädalat. Ja no käies veel ise Soome evendilt võttes hoogu nädalavahetusel, siis ma pool päeva siin lennanud ja oodanud seda tundi läbi selle, et rääkinud inimestega, bookinud kohtumisi ja loomulikult teinud ettevalmistusi ka meie tuleva nädalavahetuse evendile. Aga võtame kohe liini lahti, alustame meie esimese vägeva esinejaga. Härrasmeest, kellest ma isegi rääkisin nädalavahetusel päris palju, sest olid ajad, kui ma lausa võitlesin selle härrasmehega, et palun tule, astu lavale, tirin teda vägisi, võtan pea kaenlasse, tõmban ta sinna lavale. Poiss ikka jookseb eest ära, mina ei lähe kellegile midagi rääkima, ma ei ole kuskile lavale loodud. Ja oi jummal seda aega. Olid ajad. Ja siis läks mõni aeg mööda. See areng, mida see härrasmees on teinud, see on olnud imeline. Aga millest ma kõige rohkem siis rääkisin inimestele oli see, et kui siis mingil ajal olid toimunud erinevad arengud ja meil oli kuskil mingi päris suur event, ta seisis suurel laval, rääkis nagu ta räägib, paneb inimestel silmad särama, annab teistele seda energiat, mida ta ise iga hommik sisse joob, mis iganes, ma ei tea, on see meie spiruliina või midagi muud. Ja mina mäletan, mulle ei meeldi kusjuures väga nutta, aga mina mäletan, kui ma kuulan teda, ma vaatan seda ja mul pisar lihtsalt voolab siin mööda põske ja ma mõtlen, et minu väiksekene on lendu tõusnud. Ja meie muidugi tunneme teda hoopis mingil muul nimetusel kui väiksekene. Meie teame teda nimetusega Action Man, seega mul on suurim hea meel ja au alustada seda tänapäevast koolitust meie Royal Crown Action Man Viktor Viki Jaskaga.
Aitäh, sõbrakene. Tõmbad mulle ka siin kohe pisara silma koolituse alguseks oma meenutustega aastast 2012 veebruarikuust, kui ma õigesti mäletan, oli see hetk, millest sa nagu rääkisid. Aga on põnevad palju siin olnud nende aastate jooksul, et on mida meenutada. Aga no tere õhtust kõigile ja esiteks sooviksin öelda nagu suur aitäh ja samas suur tunnustust absoluutselt igal ühele, kes täna on meil siin liinil, sest see ei ole nagu lihtsalt koolitus kõikidele. See on mõeldud vaid liidritele, valitud seltskonnale, silver ja kõrgematele tasemetele partneritele, kes on juba näidanud, et nad suudavad vastutada, vedada oma meeskonda, anda eeskuju ja olla inspiratsiooniks, motivatsiooniks oma esimestele ja ka paljudele partneritele, kes on juba sinu tiimis. Et see on juba ise suur minu saavutus ja ma soovin, et igaüks tunneks uhkust, et sa just täna siin nagu liinil oled ja saad juba siit esimese särtsu, inspiratsiooni, motivatsiooni ees ootavaks laupäevaks laadida enda akud juba maksimumini täis, et seda siis laupäeval edasi süstida oma vingesse tiimi. Suvi on selja taga meil, et enamik meist kindlasti võttis seda ka rahulikumalt, puhkasime, laadisime akusi, nautisime oma pere ja üldse elu, tehti ka natukene tööd, pigem oli see selline ka taastumisaeg, see suvine aeg ja see on täiesti normaalne ja see on absoluutselt vajalik meile kõikidele, sest üks, millest ma olen ka need aastate jooksul aru saanud, et tegelikult on puhkus ülioluline osa suurest edust. Et kui me anname ainult kuuma, mida ma olen nagu teinud samamoodi, et hommikul ärkad, paned hilistundideni välja, ei söö, ei maga, mitte midagi, mis tegelikult akud on varsti tühjaks. Täna meil küll on supertooted, mis aitavad neid akusi ka laadida, aga ikkagi võtta ka see puhkuse hetk, täitsa ennast välja lülitada kõigest ja siis ööuni üli nagu oluline. Samamoodi, kui sul õnnestub ka kiires päevas võtta, ma ei tea, 10, 15, 20 minti, 30 minti, korra aeg maha võtta, enda jaoks pane silm kinni, aju saab täieliku restardi. See on üks asi, mida ma olen õppinud tegema siin viimase 2-3 aasta jooksul. Et see on minu jaoks fenomenaalne, et sellest ma olen küll aru saanud, et puhkus on ülioluline suurest edust. Kui me anname kuuma ja ka puhkame hästi, siis tegelikult tulemused on veel paremad. See on täna minu selline hoiak, aga nüüd on käes meil ka september ja me kõik teame, mida see meie jaoks tähendab, sõbrad. Et Cinzinos algab tegelikult nüüd kõige aktiivsem periood ja ajalooliselt on meie kõige tugevamad kuud alati, sõbrad, olnud september, oktoober ja siis november kulmineerub tõelise kabuumi ja plahvatusega eriti just viimase 3 aasta jooksul, sest see november on olnud kuu, kus sünnivad meil uued tasemed, tehakse täielikult rekordmüüke, saavutatakse asju, mida võib-olla aasta alguses ma isegi ei osanud endale ette kujutada ka, et see tegelikult novembris, kui me vaatame oma back office'it, mis on see kreditite arv, kui palju on isiklike klientide, partnerite ja tiimi käibe number, sest viimaste aastate jooksul on enamus partneritel on see alati olnud tõeline rekordkuu ja kindel on see, et selle aasta sügiskuud, september, oktoober, november, mis kulmineerub novembriga, ma olen täiesti enam kindel, et see tuleb nagu nii fenomenaalsed rekordkuud. Miks? Sest meil Cinzinos on ju suur eesmärk jõuda 1 miljoni kliendini selle aasta lõpuks. Täna meil on circa seal 600 pluss 1000 aktiivset klienti, et on minna miljonini veel, aga see on tegelikult tehtav, enamus aasta kliente tehaksegi ära nende sügiskuude jooksul. Ja et sinna ka jõuda, siis kuna meil on ka veel 20-aastane sünnipäev Cinzinos, siis juubeliaasta, siis siin on ootamas ees meid väga vinged kampaaniad, pakkumised partneritele, klientidele ja loomulikult meie enda event, mis on kohe laupäeval tulemas, siis on oktoobrikuu aastakonverents, mis on täiesti läbi müüdud. Pole varem sellist asja 20 aastase ajaloo jooksul olnud, et üks aastakonverents müüakse täis. Inimesed ei saanud enam piletid, eile tuli info ju välja, piletid välja müüdud, et 4000 ja pluss 1000 inimest tegelikult on meil Oslos aastakonverentsil kohal, üliäge. Aga selleks, et novembris tuleksid nagu tõeliselt suured tulemused, miks ma räägin täna ka novembrist, on see, et mulle meeldib 2 korda aastas teha 90 päeva jooksu. Ja parimad kuud teha 90 päeva jooksu on minu jaoks september, oktoober, november. Sest siin meil läheb samamoodi, hakkab ju minema, me oleme siin suvest tulnud, aktiivsus on teissugune, kogu see hoiak on võib-olla natukene teine, nüüd ongi see, hakkab siin nende eventidega siis tulema meie päeva, mis tõstabki tegelikult seda tempot päevast päeva järjest edasi. Ja tegelikult need on need kuud, kus ongi mõistlik hakata laduma seda vundamenti praegu nüüd just ja kohe. Sest see, mida me septembris külvame, need kõned, need kohtumised, uued kontaktid, need hakkavad tulemuseks pöörama ennast reeglina kuskil järgmise 30–90 päeva jooksul. Ja need on numbrid, mis ma olen nagu endale nagu selgeks teinud, et kui ma täna hakkan prospekteerima, teen neid müügikõnesi, lepin kokku kohtumisi, kes saab täna, kes saab nädala pärast, kes saab kuu pärast, aga just see kohtumiste arv ja kokkuleppimine, mis ma täna teen, kes hakkab kohe kliendiks, kes hakkab kuu pärast kliendiks, kellele ma teen järelkohtumise, kellega ma kutsun uuesti kuskile üritusele endaga kaasa, sest see on see, ma näen, et kui me täna alustame, siis november on lihtsalt fenomenaalselt erakordne, nii et igaüks, kes täna siin liinil on, no minu silmis on nagu võimatu mitte minna 1 level up, 2 level up, 3 level up, kas kõik minna teemantiks või kõrgemaks, kui täna hakata seda rauda õigesti taguma. Nii et kui me soovime novembris tähistada oma elu suurimaid tulemusi, siis see töö võiks alguse saada täna, nüüd ja kohe. Sest see tänane koolitus ongi meil siin selleks, et anda meile kõigile uut energiat, visiooni ja et samas ka tööriistu, et teha sellest sügisest meie üldse elu parim sügis. Minu 14 aastat siin Zinos, ma olen enam kui kindel. Ma planeerin juba oma sügiskuid selliselt, et novembris ma teen igal juhul ka isiklikus plaanis absoluutselt rekordkuu ja ise oma plaanis läbi tiimi, aidates tiimiliikmed kõik uutele tasemetele ja rekord sissetulekuteni, et siis me ju tegelikult üheskoos ju kõik võidame. Nii et hoiame ruumi kuumana ja lähme kõik koos nagu täiega nendele sügiskuudele peale ja mida mul on nagu ülim rõõm täna siis ka teha, on tutvustada ühte erakordset inimest. Ma ei ole temaga face to face veel küll kokku saanud, aga ma sain tema soovituse läbi minu väga hea sõbra, meie kõikide hea sõbra ühise tuttava Zinsino partneri Tiina Ilvese kaudu, Äripäeva kaudu. Ja kui me rääkisime, et kuule, me tahaksime seekord teha mingi ägeda müügikoolitusega meie evendil, siis Tiina ütles, Viki, Zinsino evendile sobib ainult üks mees õpetama. Ja selleks meheks on härra Rait Videvikna. Ta on üliäge, ta on särav, positiivne, inspiratsioonist täis tulvil. Ta räägib täpselt selles keeles, mida armastavad ka Zinsino inimesed. Helistasin Raidule, rääkisime ja ta ütles, davai, jes, teeme ära. Nii et täna mul on tegelikult au teha Raidule väike tutvustus meile kõigile. Ta räägib paar sõna iseendast, küsib, et võib-olla mõned asjad, saame ka tuttavaks, et siis minna veel üli eduka laupäevase evendi suunas. Nii et tere tulemast, Rait Videvik, meie Zinsino liinile.
Aga äge, tundub, et teil tuleb äge õhtu siin.
Seda tulemus on.
Mina täna olen siin korraks ja pigem nagu sellepärast, et ma saan aru, et teie inimesed on selles laupäeva üritusel. Ehk et kuidas mina saan teie inimesi kõige paremini aidata selle tunni aja jooksul, et ma tulin siia luurama ja teie käest infot saama, et millest teie täna näete kõige suuremat kitsaskohta, mure, mis sõnumit te tahaksite, et ma edastan teie inimestele. Ehk et mingit nagu vaadet, et oleks nagu mitte lihtsalt tore, aga et kas siis täiendaks teie soove ja öeldud või mingit uut nurka. Ehk mis esimesed mõtted on, visake kohe teele.
Mul on üks mõte, Rait, enne kui me lähme nende küsimuste juurde, siis Rait, ole kallis, palun paar minutit räägi, kes sa oled, kus sa tuled. Ma tean, et sa oled üle 20 aasta müügis aktiivselt tegutsenud. Sul on täiesti fenomenaalne ka veebikeskkond, mida kindlasti vaadake. See on nomonkeybusiness.ee, no sellise veebilehe vend juba saab ise 10 punkti selle eest ja mulle jäi silma ka see, kuidas te müüki planeerida, et klient kohe kaitsesse ilmuks mulle nagu silma, et räägi paari sõnaga endast, ole hea.
Ja, mina siis olen müügis, nüüd on 22 aastat, augustis sai täis ja olen tegelikult hästi mugavates kohtades olnud väga palju, et Telias ja Enefitis müünud, müügitiimi juhtinud ja mugavates, ma ütlen sellepärast, et niisugune tugeva brändi taga ja et selles suhtes on olnud nagu mugav. Aga täna 3 aastat olen siis ise olnud koolitaja, konsultant, enam kuskil ei tööta. Nimetan ennast elustiili raidiks, mitte ettevõtjaks. Ja tegelikult, miks ma hakkasin ka seda tegema, on see, et ma tahan seda müügikultuuri nagu saada Eestis paremaks. Et müük ei oleks paha ja pähemäärimine ja et me ei teeks, me ei julge teha müüki, sest me arvame, et see on paha ja väikeettevõtjatel on väga raske niimoodi ja siis kliendid ei lase meid ligi, kuna neil on kehva kogemus, sest nad arvavad, me tahame neile liiga teha ja kõik niisugune ebaõiglus oli see, mis mind nagu pani tegutsema ja täna niisugune võimatu ja suur eesmärk mul on, et see müügikultuur Eestis muuta ja niisuguseks loomulikuks ja inimlikuks, sest kõik raha meie kontodel on tänu müügile. Ükstapuha, mis sa teed, võid investeerida ka, aga keegi müüs kuskil, et sinu investeering ära tasuks. Et niisugune pikk taust, teinud igavaid tavalisi müügitöid, tiimitöid, osakonna juhtinud, müügitaust on mul kõva ja muud ma ei oska ka tegelikult ka aus olla ja ei huvita ka, et proovin täna anda nii palju kui võimalik nagu sotsiaalmeedias, blogiga, koolitustega, kogukonnaga, et otsin ka niisugust võimalikult laia pinda, et tekiks mingi äge mõte seoses müügiga midagi teistmoodi.
Super, super. Aitäh sulle, Rait, selle tutvustuse eest. Nii et sõbrad, laupäeva tulemusi ülivinge. Helistame veel oma tiimid läbi ja nii edasi ja kutsume külalised ka kuulama. Aga nüüd siis selle Raidu poolt esitatud küsimuse juurde, et palun, kellel on mingid mõtteid, ideid, mida tema sooviks ja ta näeb nii isiklikus plaanis, kuidas saaks ka siis tiimile abiks olla, mida Rait võiks õpetada.
No ma alustan siis.
No jah.
Tane.
No nii, Annika, palun.
Olgu, aitäh. Tervist, Rait.
Tere.
Väga meeldib tutvuda. Kuna see otsemüügis on alati, meil siin Siinas on järeltellimustega tooted, siis minu partnerid ja kliendid on alati küsimus, et kuidas järeltellimuse pakette loomulikuna müüa. Et ühte toodet on nagu kerge müüa ja siis on kindlasti huvitav, et kuidas neid järeltellimusi siis nii loomulikult teha, et see on nagu loomulik osa, et see ei ole mitte midagi erilist. Et see on kindlasti üks, mida ma arvan, et oodatakse.
Järeltellimus on siis nagu korduv ost või mingi uue ost?
Ei, see on tegelikult et üks asi juba ostetakse ja sellele järgneb siis nii-öelda sama toode 6 kuu jooksul.
Okay.
Et see on nagu terviseprogramm. Programmimüük. Just.
Okay.
Kuidas seda
Teen sulle lähema ülevaate, Rait, pärast sellest, mis see järeltellimus on.
Okay.
Just.
Veel, Annika?
Et ja siis hästi, ütleme, tiim alati küsib, aga kuidas siis ikkagi teha seda müüki hästi hea enesetundega, hästi loomulikult, ma usun, et sa sellest räägid, ja kuidas küsida raha, et see on väga suurte inimeste probleem, et kuidas küsida raha enda teenuse eest, toote eest, ja see raha küsimine keeruline. Tulid minu meeskonna mõtted, et kuidas pehmelt lõpetada tehing, nii et kõik on õnnelikud. Et me nagu ei müügi midagi, aga inimene, kes selle ostis, tunneb ennast eriti hästi, sest ta sai selle, mis ta soovis ja meie tegelikult ei müünudki.
Aitäh.
Nii, ma võtan siis järjekorra üle ja see assotsieerub tihedalt Annika esimese küsimusega või nii-öelda probleemi püstitusega. Et mis ma näen ka, et inimesed, kes ei ole ju müüki õppinud ja enamus otsemüügis ei ole müüki õppinud, on täiesti X inimene, kes pole kunagi nii-öelda müügiga kokku puutunud. Ja mis inimesed hakkavad tegema, nad hakkavad toodet või produkti müüma selle asemel, et lõppresultaati võiks nagu müüa. Et see ongi, et see Annika programm täpselt viitabki sellele, et kuidas müüa seda lõppresultaati ja lõppresultaati tahad, siis järelikult on programm ja kõik muu. et mitte ja inimene, kui ta midagi ostab, siis ta samamoodi hea tundega loomulikult võiks osta, aga et ta ise küsib toodet, ise ta soovib seda, ta saab aru, et tal on vaja seda.
Super,
ja
aitäh, Tanel.
see tegelikult hea müügi nii-öelda tulemus ongi see, et klient ise viib ennast sinna ja ise tahab et me peamegi tulema lihtsalt natukene ringiga, mitte talle lihtsalt pakkumisega, et me peame temaga vestlema.
No väga hea, aga siis
Kellegi
rohkem
veel?
siin küsimusi on, ei ole? Saame kavaga edasi minna.
Ma siin korra siis võtan, et üks küsimus tuli veel meelde seda seltskonda siin vaadates korra, et see inimene ise küsib praegu, et kui on hirm hinna ees, et sa kardad, et sa pakud inimesele kallist toodet. Et selline hinnahirm on, et sa mitte ei peaks võtma müüki enda tasemelt, vaid pakkujale inimene teeb otsuse, et sa teed inimese eest otsuse.
Korra võib-olla laiendan seda sama teemat, et võib-olla see sisekõne iseendaga, see self-talk, et me vastame tihti inimese eest ära asju, mida üldse olemas ei ole ja sellega me tõmbame selle ligi, et kuidas ennast seadistada, et sellele lainele, et see sisekõne endaga.
Mul ka kiired küsimused, et mis kanalit pidi te põhiliselt täna müüte ja mis kanalit pidi te tahaksite, et inimesed müüks?
Face to face on ikkagi 90% kohtumised ja järjest rohkem online kohtumised.
Okei, aga face to face on lihtsalt see, et võetakse telefoniraamatust keegi tuttav ja helistatakse.
99% on ikkagi soojad kontaktid, enda tutvusringkond ja see on, kellega enamus inimesi suhtleb.
Okei.
Väga vähesel määral ka külmade kontaktidega, enamus on ikkagi soojad isiklikud kontaktid, oma sõbrad, tuttavad, perekonnaliikmed, koolikaaslased, töökaaslased, naabrid ja nii edasi.
Okei, kas sotsiaalmeedia kohta on teil mingisugune piirang või lihtsalt seda ei tehta?
Pigem seda tehakse vähem hetkel, jah. Aga piirangut ei ole.
Okei. Lihtsalt, kui mina mõtlesin teie äri peale, siis mõtlesin, kui mina tuleks teie juurde, ma oleks sotsimeedias, sest kõigil on niikuinii põhitöö ka ja kõik muud asjad. Et ma võtan ainult sotsimeedia ette ja TikTokis inimesed müüvad seal nagu metsikud.
No meil on ja jääb alati. Ükskõik kui edukas ega muu müük pole, kuna Tanel ütles, enamus inimesel on 0 müügikogemusega, siis alati, mis muudab selle ärimudeli lihtsalt ongi see, et oma isiklikud tutvused ja kontaktid, see alati jääb põhiliseks. Kes on valmis edasi arenema, õppima, siis võib võtta ekstra midagi juurde. Ka see kunagi ei saa enamus inimestele number 1 platvormiks, mitte kunagi.
Sõbrad saavad otsa.
Aga hea, kui sa seda punkte juurde tood, kuidas seda teha.
Kellelgi oli veel?
Minul on ka üks küsimus veel, Rait. Et meil on ju 2 süsteemi või üks süsteem, et kõigepealt sa võid omale värvata partnerid, kes siis hakkavad ise ka tööd tegema ja hakkavad edasi müüma või siis lihtsalt kliendid. Minul on kogu aeg kuidagi ei ole tulnud see partneri värbamine välja ja ma kohe natuke kardan, sest mul täpselt tekib see tunne, et ma pean ka talle nii-öelda pähe määrima, mida ma ei taha teha ja mida ma ei oska teha. Ja alati välja on tulnud muidugi ainult koos oma ülaliiniga, aga et kuidas sellest läbi murda, et jõuda selleni, et oskad leida õiged inimesed partneriks, jah.
Okei, et kes ostab nii-öelda neid tervisetooteid, et ta neid juba ostab, et kuidas siis tema partneriks saada?
No ta ei pea hakkama neid ise ostma kliendina, vaid võib kohe tulla partneriks. Näiteks ütledki sina, et jah, mulle meeldib see asi, et kuidas ma saan ise sellist samasugust tööd teha.
Nüüd teil hakkab see nii-öelda põhikuu või teil on tiimid ja inimesed või te ise lähete, et kas see esimene asi teil on müüa toodet või esimene asi on leida neid partnereid juurde?
Mõlemad sõltub inimese profiilist. aga ärme nii detailidesse praegu
Okei.
lahkugi, et sa praegu ei teagi, mis see partner ja mis see klient on ju.
ei, ma enam-vähem tean, mul on
rääkida.
kunagi müüdud, aga ma lihtsalt tahtsin täpsustada, kas olukord on nagu sama teil, aga enam-vähem ma sain aru, et teil on olukord on sama. Aga ma lasen teid nüüd koolitusele.
Paneme edasi nüüd, jah. Aitäh, Rait, sulle, et tulid.
Joonistage, kirjutage, kui mingi hea mõte tekib.
Jaa, super. Davai, aitäh sulle, Rait. Olgu, davai, Margus, jätkame.
Suurepärane, see oli väga hea üllatus, Viktor, aitäh selle korraldamise eest. Seega saime juba väikse maitse suhu ja ma arvan, et sealt tuleb midagi väga suurepärast laupäeval. Seega, nagu Viktor ütles, kutsume kõik tiimid ja uued huvilised ja ka väljaspoolsed, kes tahavad müügikoolitust saada. See on igal alal oluline, seega väga hea põhjus kutsuda inimesed kohale. But now let's switch the language. I hope you guys are ready to listen to some English. I have looked at our screen that there's one very lovely and beautiful lady been waiting for a few moments, and I see that she's very eager to get up on stage. With so many people who have been talking about her, so many people have been influenced by her story. There's been wow moments, there's been tears, there's been laughs, and there's been definitely admiration on what she's been doing, where she's been growing as a person, and all the things that she have achieved. So we're very lucky because she's actually on the ambassador trip in Greece. So for her to come and join us today here, heat up our cold Estonia a little bit more. I'm very honored to present us Black Ambassador Zinab Rizvi. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me and having me over. I hope you guys are taking the advantage of this month of 200% ECB. That's one of the reasons why I would love to talk about not just my journey. I will also share what I'm doing the past 9 years, basically 10 years in network marketing. Because one thing which is really important for me, what changed my business, that I never stopped recruiting. There was not even 1 year in my network marketing career where I was not recruiting. Even I had people in my team who didn't succeed or didn't achieve their fasted bonuses, quit after a couple of days. But the main thing for me was always recruiting by myself. So I have more control over my business. So back to my story. So I'm originally from Austria, Vienna. I'm born there. My roots are from Pakistan. So I'm coming from a traditional Pakistani family where there was no one who really teach that how to be successful, what is personal development, what it means to do more for yourself, what it means to love yourself first. So we always got taught it's really important to respect the elders, to work 9 to 5, to have more jobs so we can provide the family. So when I started working as a pharmacist for 9 years, I realized in that time I was 30,000 in debt because I was in a toxic environment by a person, and this person didn't allow me to talk to other people. I was not allowed to be on social media or have any friends. So my debt was going up because someone else had the control. So I was in a really dark moment, and I hope you guys can hear me because the Wi-Fi in Greece is special. So yeah, so when there was a time in my life where I was so broken, I didn't have the capacity to buy myself lunch in the pharmacy, and I was in a moment where I was like, I'm not happy with myself. I had hormonal issues, so I was ill, I was overweight, I was not happy with myself, I was not confident, I was experiencing physical and emotional pain, I was in debt, so I was like, what is left? There is nothing what I could say about myself that makes me happy. But I realized that the decision I took led me to where I am today. So it was not about the other people, it was about how I see myself, and I was not respecting myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't take those decisions. So I realized I had to take different decisions if I want to be happy. Then I had two options: either be in a victim environment and be unhappy, cry every night, see how many bills I have, or I will go and make a change. And I believe if you pray, if you believe in something different, if you want a change, you will get lead to it. And what happened the next day? Fabian Zierhut, who's a Black ambassador in Zinzino, he was working in a pharmaceutical company and he came into the pharmacy. He saw me and he saw the way I was leading my team. And I was just a pharmacist and I was leading my boss. And that's where he asked me, hey, I'm expanding a business and I'm looking for a key person. And the way you work is amazing. Are you open for new projects? And I was 24 at that time. I was super scared, but I was like, I want to listen to it. Maybe it's something I can identify, and if not, it's one experience more. So we met, he introduced me to the business, and I was super excited, but I was scared. I told him I want to figure out if that's a pyramid scheme or not, if that's legal, because it sounds too good to be true. So I got all the information and we started. I had my last money on my credit card, so I bought the package. And the first onboarding we had was he asked me, hey, make a list of 100 people. And I told him I don't have any people. I only have 9 people in my phone, and that's my family, because I wasn't allowed to talk to other people. And he said, okay, that's okay, but you have only one option. You need to go out and talk to people on the street. Because at that time, social media was not that advanced. We didn't have the information we have today, how to recruit people on social media. The only information he had was how to talk to people on the street. And with my low self-confidence, with the way I was looking, but I had one thing what no one took from me. I was hungry. I was hungry to change. So I went out every day for 2.5 years on the street, on Starbucks, at an H&M, and the only thing what I did was, hey, I want to buy something. Can you recommend me something? Yeah, I can recommend you this. Really, thank you, Tina. No, thank you. Can you tell me your name? Yeah, my name is Tina. Okay, thank you so much, because there are not a lot of salesperson who really take the time to explain it in that details. So I went out, wrote in my notebook, Tina, H&M, black dress. Next day, I called at the H&M and I said, hey, Tina, I don't know if you remember me. We met yesterday. So that's how I started approaching people, because I didn't have the confidence to just go on the street and say, hey, nice bag, where is it from? And then just start a conversation. That came later. But I built my whole business for the first 4 years on the street. And I had 3 times the thing where my team was broken down, because I didn't have the leadership skills to lead a team. I knew at the point how to recruit people, so my team was growing, but I couldn't lead them. And that's also something which is really important. You need to work on your skills, especially if you want to lead a team. And if you don't have the skills yet, use your mentor, use your sponsor so you can develop those skills. And if you're good in recruiting, work as a team, because that's the best thing what can happen. Then if you're scared in recruiting, do it together. But don't tell me that you can't recruit, because that's not possible. If you believe that you have 1% chance to develop those skills, then work on it, because that's the only chance you have. That's the only responsibility you have, because our business grows when we talk to people. And the more people you reach, the more people will talk about, hey, Annika is doing that business. She told me about she's working with a blood test where she can measure with 2 drops of blood the concentration of the kids. And I thought about the school is just about to start. I need to know if my kid is in a good position, is in balance, because that will help in the school. And I thought about you, Tina, because you have a kid as well. Should I connect you guys? So that's how my business started to grow. Every person I met knew exactly what I'm doing, but I was not talking the Zinzino language. I was talking their language. You need to talk about the business the way you're talking to a kid, because that's the reason your mouth-to-mouth business is growing. If you're explaining with the Salmon brand fluidity, no one talks like that. So you need to keep that business simple so people go out and say, hey, I met Victor and you need to do the test because you just told me about your eczema and he told me about silent inflammation. And I feel a connection. That's how your business starts to grow. And I was often in a position where I felt like I'm not good enough because I've seen a lot of people on stage. I started to compare myself to them. I always wanted to be fast. I always wanted to be better, which is not a bad thing. But the only thing was I was sabotaging myself because I was not focusing on how can I be better. I was only comparing myself with, oh my God, they are ranking up. They're doing it faster than me. How can they do it? How can they talk so easily? I want to do it as well. Instead, I went there and asked, hey, can you recommend me a book? Because would love to talk like you. Can you tell me how did you develop those skills? Because I love the way you explain it. So that's how you develop your skills by getting the information you need and start working on it and then implementing it. I don't want you to work on only one muscle where you only do all the coachings, but you never go out and recruit because then you will never learn. And that's how I started growing my business. And my main thing was bringing people into the business and using Fabian's skills in his leadership. And when I had a small team, I told him, give me some tasks how I can develop my leadership skills. And he told me, you will explain them how to do the fast start bonuses because that's the base in our business. And if you don't develop a system where everyone duplicates themselves, you will always have an active income, and that's a job. And I'm not joining Zinzino because I want a second job. I want passive income. And that means you need to work on a system which duplicates. And duplicate means that the person A and the person
Ootame hetke, et Kreeka annab meile levi tagasi. Loodetavasti tuleb kohe. Mina sain siit juba nii palju informatsiooni, et tahaks juba tööle minna.
Puhas kuld, mis ta räägib, no super, noh.
Saan aru, Viktor, sa oled nüüd Vaale ümberhomsest, jah?
Ja, ma olen Vaale ümberhomsest, koputan kõikidele õla peale. Come here.
Väga lahe, siis me
Ütled
näeme
kõigile,
õues.
et beautiful bag.
Yeah. Võtan Raidu selle nimega Hello monkey, how are you doing? Let's do some business.
Eks ta tõsi on, et võõraid inimesi kõnetada millegi järgi, mis sind ennast kõnetab. Kas või sellepärast küsida ilusa naise käest, et vabandage, kuidas te olete nii ilus, mis te teete enda jaoks? Töötab väga hästi.
Ja, ma arvan, et see ongi väga hea ka, et mida esimene nii-öelda, tegelikult on see esimene müügikoolitus meil ju kõikide nende aastate jooksul, mis me Eesti evendil oleme nii-öelda siis müügikoolitaja käest võttud, nii et ma olen kindel, et sellest on palju abi, kuidas kõigile endale küsimustele vastuseid saada.
Nii hästi ja Tiina küsis küsimuse ja Tiina oleks nagu aru saanud eesti keelest ja kohe hakkas vastama. Väga hea.
No, eks Tiina küsimus on ikka paljude küsimus ka, et ikkagi kuidas seda kliendist siis partner teha või partner, jätta klient vahele teha kohe partner, eks see on kindlasti, ma usun, et me saame sellele ka ühel päeval tugevaks.
No, meil Annikaga oli tegelikult sel teemal just vestlus siin eelmine nädal ja tegelikult vastus on lihtne. Et partnerid tulevad ärisse sel juhul, kui sa ise oled ärist erutunud, sa oled excited, sa usud sellesse ärimudelisse, sa näed, et see töötab, sa armastad tooteid ja selle silm säravana sa siis tegelikult sa jagadki teisele, ma soovingi suga koostööd teha, sellepärast see on nii äge, mida ma teen. Ja nii lihtsalt kui nagu võimalik. Ja nagu ma ütlesin Annikale ka samamoodi, selle peal on hea lihtne vastus. ja kui sul ei tule see algul loomulikult välja, siis ei ole muud kui fake it until you make it. Siis tõmba omale see naeratus silme ette, mine sära seal, kuni hakkavad partnerid tulema, siis tuleb sulle järjest loomulikumalt juba välja ka. Ega siin muud varianti ei ole. Lihtsalt teooriaga ei ole võimalik seda lihtsalt kuidagi paremaks saada, tuleb minna, teha ja rääkida ja palju praktikat saada. Aga number 1, äri peab endal pea luu sees olema, siis see toimib. On minu selline arvamus täna siia.
Noh, Sinab tõi siin väga lihtsa lause, mida mulle endale meeldib kasutada. Temal oli see, et mis Fabian ütles talle, et kas sa oled avatud uutele projektidele, et ma otsin sellist samasuguse tööeetikaga inimest, nagu sina oled, on ju, et vaataks korra, viskaks pilgu peale ja mulle meeldib endale küsida samamoodi, et kui avatud sa oled uutele võimalustele, et ma otsin ka 2 ambitsioonikat, ütleme, ettevõtlikku inimest, on ju, ja ma arvan, et me saaks sinuga suuri tegusid tehtud. Ja kui inimesed on avatud, nagu Randy Gage ütleb, et otsime inimesi, kes otsivad, siis kui me piisavalt inimesi läbi kammime, osadele jäävad seemned sinna pähe, osadele tuleb kohe, et jah, ma tahan sellega alustada, et lõppude lõpuks, jah, müük on müük. Et see, kui pehmelt või kõvasti me seda teeme, see on igal ühel loomulikult oma moodus, aga lõppude lõpuks, olenemata teed see kõva või pehmet müüki, kõik on numbrite mäng. Mida rohkem sul on inimesi läbi käidud, seda rohkem sul tuleb ka vastuseid. Ja nagu meie oleme siin mitmed korrad läbi lugenud sellise raamatu nagu Go for No, siis seal ongi, et loe oma keskarv, et kui mitu ei vastust sul tuleb, et siis sa tead, et kui sul on näiteks 20 kohtumist, ja iga 20 tagant tuleb sul 1 jaa vastus, siis loe oma ei vastused ja siis, kui sul on juba 19 või 17 on seal käes, on ju, siis sa oled juba, 2 tükki veel ja järgmine, siis tuleb juba jah jälle, on ju. Siis tuleb juba selline omamoodi hasart ka sealt teiselt poolt, on ju. Ja ükski ei ole ka lõplik. Et ma alati toon selle näite, et kui sa lähed kuskil nädalavahetusel kuskile diskosse või baari ja seal mingi natukene naudinguaineid kasutanud härrasmees läheb ühe korra, küsib kellegilt neiult, et tuled tantsima. Noh, võib-olla kohe tuleb, et ei, läheb, teeb tiiru peale, tuleb järgmine kord jälle, kuule, tantsima tuled. Tuleb jälle ei, teeb jälle tiiru peale sellele kohale, läheb 3., 4., kuni see neiu arvatavasti tuleb taga tantsima ja nagu me oleme kuulnud, siis tihtipeale on need jutud lõppenud ka abieluga, on ju. Et põhimõte ongi, et seda eid ei võta eina, vaid mitte praegu.
Ja mul on põnev
isiklik kogemus, jah.
Nii Sinab tuleb, et räägime siis ise. Et mõtlesin, mida ma teen. Ma vaatasin, kell oli 18:50. Istun siin, vaatan Annika läks ühtepidi mööda, mõtlesin, no nii, ma hakkan ise räägin natukene, Raitu müügikuru hakkan nagu sisse juhatama, kuidas ennast nagu täiega käima tõmmata. Ja mis ma tegin, vaatasin, mul on okei, mul on aega, Viki, tee vähemalt 3 kõne. Ja mul on siin nagu ülikuum list endal praegu ees ja põmaki ja ma jõudsingi teha 3 kõne, ma sain 2 kohtumist ja ma lõpetasin mingi paar minti enne kella 7, läksin Annika, tegin 3 kõnet just praegu täitsa lõpp, selline power on sees, ülikõva on alustada kohe meie nagu seminari, nii et soovitan proovida, aga tähtis on, ma arvan, siinkohal see, et vali niisugused lihtsamad kõned, mitte mingi rasked teha. Nii, Sinab on tagasi.
All right, Sinab, you're back.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Yeah. So where was I? So I told about when I started building that business, it was so important for me to also work. So every rank we reach in Zinzino, we need to have certain skills, especially when it comes to the rank executive. As an executive, you have a small team already. So you need to have the information how you can start a newest partner. That means how to register the new partner, tell them about the auto order, but also talk about the fasted bonuses and what benefits they have out of it. Because that's why network marketing works, because we have a system. We have a system like McDonald's. That's why McDonald's is so successful. Even we know it's not healthy, but think about the cheeseburgers, all the burgers, the price, they look the same because they have a proven system. And that's the reason why my team is, or many teams in Zinzino are so successful because they have a proven system. They don't have a system for different people. Each person knows exactly if you want to succeed in that business, but you love to earn 1,000 euro, 1,500, and you want to do it through the customer, then do it. Really important to have the 25 customers so you can get the package back. So that means the social proof is growing because they can see, 25 kids and I get the money back in a year. Imagine people who have a strong customer base can tell about that story. They got the 10,000 euro bonus. They are top team. They get the money back, what they invested. Imagine what system they can create, or people who wants to build a business. So there are so many benefits when it comes to our system, and you need to know exactly how to work that system. So that was kind of my story, how I started. And in between, I had a lot of obstacles. Even a year ago, I had a surgery. I had a tumor for 10 years, and I wasn't able to work for 8 months. So I was out of the business. And what happened when I came back after 8 months? I had 8,000 team customers more, and I did a double rank up. And that didn't happen because I did a good job. We created a system which duplicated long-term to a business where we created independent leaders who know exactly how to duplicate that one system. And that's the reason why Zinzino is an amazing opportunity to grow that business and be successful and have a really good passive income. And back to the recruiting part, I want to give you some tips, what I used, what was really beneficial for me. So I hope you take notes because that could change basically your whole business because it's really important. I get a lot of question how I'm working as a full-time networker and still bring new people into the team, or how do I stay motivated even if I get rejections? And trust me, I have the same experience like someone who's new. The only difference is I have more experience. I can talk maybe better when it comes to objections, but I don't take rejections personally anymore because it has nothing to do with me. And it's not about how I do it, it's about what the other person gets out of it and how they can apply it themselves. Because most of the time you talk a lot about me, 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 me. Who cares about what you like about the business? It's about what the person has, what the person can get out of that business. So over the years, I've learned that 3 things that always makes a huge difference when it comes to recruiting. And that's finding the right people, the right framing, and the right messaging. And if you master those 3, you will experience more ease, more resonance, and better results. And let's talk about when it comes to right people. Most of the people make the mistake of talking to everyone. And I love that because if you go into quantity long term, you will create quality in your business. So means you need to talk to everyone. The only thing is what people make the mistake is when they talk to neighbors, colleagues, family members who are negative, they think that everyone is like that. And then they wonder why nothing is happening. So if you talk to a lot of people, you also need to analyze if a certain amount of group has said no for a lot of time. For example, if I talk to 25 beauticians and all of them say no, it has nothing to do with them. I need to figure out what can I improve. Maybe the way I approach is not good enough. Maybe the way I explain the business is maybe too complicated. Or maybe I'm not talking about their needs. So instead of asking yourself how many people I can talk to, figure out if you talk to a lot of people, who do I really want to attract? And that's people who are open to something new. That's people who are looking for solutions, and that's people who are ready to take responsibility for their health and their future. So how can you find those people? Basically, it's everyone. But the thing is, you need to ask the right questions so you can figure out what are the issue, what are the pain points. We only have 4. We have time, We have money, we have environment, and we have safety. And we need to figure out what is the reason they are sitting here in the meeting. Because trust me, if someone is sitting in the meeting, they're not sitting there because they want to talk to you. There is a reason why they said yes. So you don't need quantity, you need depth long term. So I want you, your first exercise is I want you to write down 3 qualities how your ideal partner should be. And then I want you to figure out where can I find those people and what are their needs? What are the main issue and how can I solve it with my business? And how can I approach them? Because that will help you a lot. I always prepared myself before I started talking to people. Because if they ask me, what is the benefit for me in that business? And I have no answer, that means I didn't took the time for my own business to figure out what are the real benefits on working with me. So I don't want to hear excuses. Why isn't it working? Because if I ask you a question, what are the benefits of working in your team? And you can't answer that, then that doesn't have to do anything with Zinzino or network marketing. It's you don't take the time because it's not important for you. So you really need to study your own business, your own skills, and what do you bring to the table? And that's why it's important to work with your sponsor because he's more experienced. And when you listen how he answered, you start taking notes. Let's talk about point number 2, the right framing. And framing means how do I present my message so the other person not only understands it, but also feels the meaning behind it. That makes a huge difference. If you talk to someone and say, hey, Victor, you just told me about your kids, that you want to earn more money because they need education. What will it mean to you if you can provide them the education they need in 6 months by working 5 hours per week on the side with me together? And long term, after 6 months, you can go down with the hours in your current job and have more time with your kids. How does it feel for you? So we need to create a picture because people react to trigger words. Tests, products, network marketing are often the wrong things to trigger people because your job is to reframe those words. And I will give you examples what are most people are doing wrong. For example, I see a lot of time on social media. We have premium products. Seriously, who cares about it? What if I say you can literally see what's happening inside your body and measure how your cells improve over time? That's something which is interesting for me. Not that we have premium products. Or another example. Yeah, it's a test where we measure fatty acids. Okay, but I can measure fatty acids at my doctor's as well. What if you tell them it's a mirror of your cells, showing if your body is truly absorbing what you eat on daily basis? Do you see the difference? Let's talk about the balance oil. What is the balance oil? Yeah, it's an omega-3 oil. Okay, so nothing special. What if you could say it's like a key that unlocks your cells so nutrients can finally reach where they are needed? So I want you to create a feeling in the people so they can understand, oh my God, I need that product. But let's do some example when it comes to the business. What is Zinzino basically? Why should I join? Yeah, you can make money here. Do you really think that that's sexy for someone to hear? You can make money here? No. But if you can say you can build an income that's not tied to your working hours, what would that mean to you? Really? How does it work? This is network marketing, not sexy. What if you said this is a modern form of entrepreneurship? No boss, no employees, and no risk. What if people say, hey, it's a pyramid scheme? People start defending themselves. It's not a pyramid scheme. No, Explain it to them. Pyramid schemes are illegal. We work in a regulated industry with over 100 years of history and billions in revenue. What we do is a modern form of direct sales, and you get rewarded for recommending, not for buying. And that's the difference between entrepreneurship, because people need to buy a lot of stuff. We have an online shop. So there are a lot of things where I can see that people don't really listen to the people what they really need. If someone is telling me I don't have time for that. And because you don't have much time, you need a business model that works flexible around your daily life. That's the reason I called you. Or how long do you want to be in a position where you don't have time for yourself? So create that feeling for the people, like a picture, so they can understand, okay, it's not just a side hustle, it's an opportunity for them to really change their life. And that's the second task what I want to give to you guys. I want you to make every day some breakout session where you work with those phrases. I want you to talk about what you're using in your business right now, and the other person needs to tell you if it sounds nice, if he can identify to it, if he feels something if you tell that sentence. If it's not, reframe it, because you need to know exactly how to talk, because that's something which needs to be implemented in the system so everyone can duplicate it. If I start a new partner, we have an education platform we use in Zeno Everything, but what I do is I work one-to-one with you because I want you to know exactly how to explain the Xenobiotic, what are the benefits, how to explain the business in 2 sentences, because that's the only job you have in the beginning. You don't have to do the presentation because that's my responsibility. But with time, I will give you more tasks because you want to rank up, right? That means different responsibilities. Let's talk about the last step, the right messaging. Because as you can see, words are energy. Your language decides whether someone feels understood or they feel ignored. Because most of the time they say, I love the business because this, and he said, oh, congrats, I'm happy for you. Because people don't join because of your goals. They join because they feel this person gets me. This person really understands me. So speak to their desires, not your targets. Use language that paints picture and be clear, direct, and a human. Don't be a salesperson. Listen to them, but be clear, because sometimes people need that clarity so they can wake up. If someone is telling me our products are premium, that's not a benefit. But if you say, imagine, Victor, you're waking up with more energy, clearer skin, and a sharper mind, because you just told me that how much you're suffering. Imagine you're waking up and you look better, you feel better. How does it feel? Yeah, I would love that. Then let's figure out first if you really need us. Let's do the test first. So I want you to do that role play, because that's really important, because if you master that, trust me, you can talk to anyone outside, because clarity creates safety, and empty phrases, trust me, only creates doubt, and then you get nervous. So always try to choose clarity, because that's our only job. Our job is bring clarity to the people, not selling anything. Because if they understood our business, if they understood our system, if they understood our concept, they will sign up. So what did we talk about today? The right people, otherwise you waste your energy. So talk to a lot of people so you get more experience. But if you talk to a lot of people in a week, I want you to take one day to analyze what happened the past 6 days. How many people did I talk to? What were the answers? Who said no? Why did they say no? What could I do better? Or what really worked? How can I improve myself? I want you to analyze your business every single week. so you can get really better, because otherwise you get frustrated and you stop working. And that's not fair to yourself. Then I want you to use the right framing. And you know how can you learn it? Just do role play. I would tell you, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm working 24/7. I have 3 companies. Pitch me. And that's your job to sell me that business. And we will do it as long as it takes till you master it. Because then you're so confident that anyone can come and you will know exactly what you bring to the table. And then the right messaging, because we know people buy facts. They don't buy the meeting or the meaning out of one premium product. Words are energy, because that's create resonance and that's create pictures. And when it comes to success, it doesn't happen overnight, but it happens with time, with experience, but also with putting your ego on the side and just asking for help. I'm not in that position because I did everything by myself. I was copying a lot of people. The moment I saw Hilde on stage, I told myself, I want to reach people like her. I can't talk like her, but we have one thing in common. We are reaching people. And that was my goal. My goal was not copying every word she's saying, but the message, how she delivers it, is she's creating pictures. She's creating hope. And that's what our job is. We are giving people hope. But you need to start with yourself first. So ask yourself, why did you decide to start with that business? What were the benefits for you? What has changed? And I can tell you, if you're disciplined enough to take time to master your business, to work on those skills, and I'm not talking about every skills you need to know. Work on one skill you want to develop, which can transform your business. And that 1% can change everything, because you need to do it on a daily basis. People take a lot of gap in between and then they start from zero. You need to do it every day, even if you have 5 minutes, I don't care. But you need to go out and talk to someone, even if it's your neighbor. But everyone needs to know about your business. Not everyone will fit in your team. And that's the good thing about network marketing, because you can choose who you want to bring into the team. But your responsibility is to talk to everyone, because we don't know if that person is sitting at home and asking ChatGPT, how can I earn 500 euro on the side? But if I talk about how I can help people create passive income, that person will say, hey, I'm looking for it. Can you tell me more about it? And that's because I talked about it. So that's basically what I'm doing since years. I learned a lot on understanding that it's 95% the other person and 5% business. So if you ask them the right question, and it's always 2 reasons why people start. It's either their family or their job. And we need to figure out in those 50 minutes conversation we have before we do a presentation, what is Tina's job? How's the family situation? Is she happy? How many hours is she working? What is she earning? Why did she say yes to the meeting? What is her dream? Was it always her dream to work as a salesperson? So we really need to ask questions like a kid. So you have a picture of her life, and then you ask her, what would it mean for you if you can earn that 4,000 euros in the next 12 months by only investing the 10 hours you just mentioned me that you have to work on a side business? What would it mean for you? And let's give them the time to talk about their dream. Let's give them the time to create their own picture. And then I will say, that sounds really amazing. And you know what? Now let me show you how I will help you to create those 4,000 euros in 12 months. And then I will do a diamond plan. So in those 15 minutes, I've already got 3 yeses. I close that person basically, and then I start the presentation. And in the presentation, I will include his dream. You just told me that you know a lot of people who ask you a lot about health advice. Imagine what would it mean for your people if you can measure it with 2 drops of blood instead of always investing a lot of time to figure out what they have. Imagine 2 drops of blood is giving you the answer if their cells are capable to get the nutrients or not, if silent inflammation are inside or not. How much would it influence your environment? Yeah, a lot. So include them in the presentation so they can feel seen and say, hey, I can do that. It's not that difficult. And when I do an offline presentation, I have people here, I ask them, I talk about my story and then I'm mentioning the 4 pain points: time, money, environment, safety. And I tell them, let's be honest here. Who's here for more money? Who's here for more time? Who wants more safety? Who's looking for a new environment? And with that question, you can also do that in an online presentation. You can basically figure out what target group you have in your room. And then you can always go more in that presentation where you can find those pain points. So it's really important to really understand what our business is bringing to the table. Zinzino has developed a lot. I started 2016. The products were looking totally different. The brochure, everything. We didn't have what we have today, the modern technology. But we had one thing in our mind. We believe in that company. We believe in their vision. That's why I stick to that company and I will be there for the next 50, 60 years because I know exactly the company will go without me anyway. But I want to be a part of it with 1 million customers in my team. And I want, especially in the DACH region, people to know who I am. And if they want to join Zinzino, I want them to mention my name or my name for my team. And ask yourself, where do you see yourself in that business? Because you can't tell me you're doing it for your family because you have suffered, you have fought yourself for so many years for your family. But you know exactly if you're not in a position where you're healthy, where you are not happy, where you can't wake up with a clear mind, how can you take care of your family? So it means you need to do that business for yourself first. How can this business change myself? How can it improve myself? Because if you feel good, you can influence other people. That's why I started to look at myself first and then my family. Because if I'm not good, I can't help them. So ask yourself, take a decision. We have 200% ECP. Imagine for every new partner you are signing up or your team, for every new customer you're signing up or your team, you get 1/3 of credits on top for free. We have amazing campaigns with a new partner who signs up 6 partners and the 10 subscriptions that gets up to 1,200 euros with the bonuses, gets the 400 bonus of the executive bonus. And imagine what social proof that means if your newest partners go out and tell them, hey, I earned up to 2,000 euros in my first month in Zinzino. What will it change in your business? Our responsibility is to create social proof, but we can only do that if we stick to one system. So that was basically my story. I hope it helped you guys. If you have any question, you can just ask me that, or you can unmute yourself because the Wi-Fi is going good, so I can talk. So if you have any question, please ask me because I want you to succeed. I would love to see you happy, fulfilled, and healthy. So ask me anything you want.
Thank you, Zainab. I will tell honestly, it was for sure, honestly, one of the best speeches that I have heard during my 14 years in Zinzino. Thank you. Now. Amazing. We love you. Super.
It was truly amazing. So anybody, okay, all you get is love, no questions, I can see.
And I hope I see you guys at the annual event. Please take the chance to be there because it changed me. I didn't go there just to listen to all of the people. I was looking for that one person who can deliver one message, even if it's just one word, which can transform my brain. And the first event, it was Hilde. Then there were a lot of different speakers every year. So I always go there with an open mind. I listen to everyone, but there's only one person always who catches me, who changed something in me, and that's what I'm looking for. So please go there because you never know. Because I can tell you, environment makes a huge difference. And imagine you are in an environment for 2 to 3 people with people who are not normal. We are not normal. That's why we are in Zinzino. And imagine you're there for 3 days and people are totally talking differently, and that can influence your brain instead of listening to people who are always negative. It's your chance, it's your life, it's your business. Take ownership and make something out of it, because if you don't do it, someone else will take those contacts. And I've been in this situation so many times where I wanted to recruit someone, I was not brave enough, and someone else recruited that person. So don't make the same mistake like I did. But I wish you all the best. I send you all my love, and I can't wait to see each one of you on stage, sharing your story and impacting other people. Thank you so much for having me, and see you soon in Oslo.
Thank you
Thank
so much, Zinab. Enjoy Greece, enjoy the lovely ambassador trip, and we're going to join you there as well soon.
Sure. Looking forward to it. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Nii, suurepärast väärtust, suurepäraste mõtetega, nii et saime oma ülesanded kätte, kindlasti tasub neid hakata harjutama ja ma arvan, et siit saimegi, nagu Tanel juba hõiskas ka, et saime mingid vastused juba kätte, mida siin sai esitatud. Aga lähme programmiga edasi. Järgmine härrasmees, kes meil estraadile astub, ütleme nii, et tänu sellele, mis on meil sotsiaalmeedia, siis on tuletanud mulle meelde siin mõne aasta tagust seiklust, nimelt Portugalis. Ja meil oli sinna suurim rõõm minna koos härra Actionmaniga ja meid võeti seal vastu nagu kuningaid. Meie jaoks oli kõik ette taha ära plaanitud, kuhu minna, mida teha, mida näha, mida kogeda, ainult istu autosse ja läksime. Ja see härrasmees teeb täpselt sedasama igal evendil, igal koolitusel oma tiimiga, et tema tiim on ülimalt hästi hoitud, kõik on selgeks tehtud, kuhu minna, mida teha, millest kõige parem kasu võtta, kuidas seda teha. Ja ta läheb ja teeb seda eelkõige ise eelotsas. Seega mul on ülimalt hea meel anda sõna järgmisele härrasmehele, kes räägibki meile, kuidas võtta maksimum meie tulevasest laupäevasest üritusest. Seega meie oma Diamond, Tanel Ermel.
Aitäh, Margus. Ja tõesti väga suurepärane on rääkida peale Zinabi esitlust. See on väljakutse ja eriti teeb mulle suurt head meelt veel see, et Zinab on minu meelest äris olnud ju alates 2017, Ermen alates 2016. Ma olen jälginud selle naise arengut, see on nagu tohutu ja meeletu. Ehk siis vahe ongi temal ja minul, et üks on natukene aeglane ja natukene õpib poole vähem, ehk siis mina. Siin äris on nagu lihtne, et ole kohal, aga õpi ja harjuta, mitte ära ole ainult teooriat või õpikut järgi, vaid kogu aeg tuleb harjutada ja praktiseerida. Ja siis on ka tulemused käes. Nüüd jagan oma teist ekraani. Margus annab mulle loa. Nii, kas mu teine ekraan on just näha? siin on juhtunud selline asi, et korra on arvuti teinud imetrikki, et ta on jaganud mul esimest ekraani. Et siis igaks juhuks tuleb üle küsida, et kumba ekraani ta siin näitab. Aga millest me juba kuulsime ka nii Viktor Jaskalt kui ka Sinapilt, et passiivne tulu. Passiivne tulu, see on paljudele inimestele nagu müüt. Et mul on tunne, et väga paljud isegi ei usu seda, et noortel on hea rääkida, nad ei ole veel ära rikutud osaliselt ja inimesed lihtsalt pole usku oma võimetesse ja passiivsesse tulusse. Ja tavaliselt on seal taga puhtalt ongi eneseareng ja eneseusk ja oma sisekõne. Aga sinus on see võti, kuidas muuta päriselt reaalsuseks. Ja meil tuleb sellest nüüd siin juttu ka, mis need väikesed sammud on, väikesed lihtned sammud ja siis veel kogu tarkus veel Sinapilt juurde võtta ja let's go, et asi toimib. Ja meil on palju ettevõtlusvorme ja millest siis nendest teenib passiivset tulu. Näiteks enamus, mis neid oleks siis levinud selline kinnisvara üüritulu, siis dividenditulu, intressitulu, võimalikult autoritasud, kõiksugused e-kursused või e-kursuste korduvsalvestatud teenuste müük näiteks. Ja siis loomulikult ettevõtlusest tulenev tulu, et üks asi on frantsiis, sarnane nagu otsemüük iseenesest, või siis automatiseeritud e-pood, mis on meil peaaegu kõigil käes ja pluss veel mõni robot taha ehitada. Aga minu hinnangul ongi, et otsemüük nendest kõigest, mis ma mainisin, on üks lihtsamini saavutatav, aga see on kõigil inimestele kättesaadav. Aga suur aga on siin tuleb mugavustsoonist välja tulla ja eeldab teadmisi, õppimist, järjepidevust. Ehk siis omandame oskusi. Täpselt sama, mida meil Sinap ka toonitas, et me peame harjutama ja kas või üksinda või koos sõpradega või perekonnaga. Ja tänapäeval on head lihtsad moodused, et kui sa tahad peegli ees harjutada, siis kas või arvutis pane mingi programm käima ja lase omale see räägi ära ja kuula see salvestust. Ja nii kaua sa korrutad ühte ja sama, kuni see on sul pealuu sees ja niimoodi on kõigiga. Täpselt nagu Sinap ütles, ma loodan väga, Margus, et me saame seda salvestust, et ilusti uuesti kõik detailid üle korrata ja vaadata päriselt need sammud kõik läbi tuua. Aga siin Hiinas tuuakse meil kandikul ette see edupant ja valemid, kuidas jõuda üldsegi eesmärgini. Et väikesed kindlad järjepidevad sammud loovad selle tulemuse, mis töötavad. Ja kõige huvitavam see, et kõik siin soovivad sulle edu ja ei takista ju teekonnal. Et see kõik on ideaalne kombo. Aga tavapäraselt, mis ma siin 9 aasta jooksul olen õppinud, et siin lihtsalt tavapäraselt ei ole seda järjepidevust, et võetakse seda mingi sprindina, mis on ka õige, need 90 päeva runnid see peab õigesti sprintima. Aga siis peale sprinti ei tähenda seda, et ma võtan 5-kuuse puhkuse välja või 8-kuise, kui ei ole tugevat tiimi ühel. Et seal peab maraton jätkuma, et sprintmaraton ja üleüldse kogu pilt on pikk maraton, et siis asi töötab. Nüüd meil on hea kindel süsteem ja kui me seda järgime, siis asi töötab. Kindlasti võib proovida enda jalgratast leiutada, andke minna, loomulikult, kõik on lubatud, aga siis vähemalt kui see ei tööta, siis vaata äkki see süsteem töötab ja proovi seda, et kindel on see, et see, mida me teeme, see toimib. Aga kuidas kõige lihtsam on, et võtame Express Stardil näiteks need pildid ka, mis siin on 129 lehekülg või 148 lehekülg ja näiteks kui me räägimegi, Margus ütleski, et kuidas üritustes maksimumi võtta, et näiteks Express Stardis 148 lehekülg räägib sellest. Aga millest alguses kohe mina äril näiteks aru ei saanud, on siis meeskonna kaasamine. Et loomulikult võime ju kliente teha, loomulikult, aga kas kliendid viivad äri edasi sul? Et äri viivad teistesse maailmajagudesse? Jaa, see võib olla niimoodi. aga üpris tihti mitte, et kliendid võivad loomulikult soovitada ja rääkida, aga kas see viib sind ikkagi selleni, et sealt tuleb uusi partnereid sulle meeskonda, et alati, kuidas me oma äri saame suurelt erinevatel kontinentidel ajada, ongi puhtalt siis partnerite kaasamine. Ja kuidas me partnereid kaasame, ongi igapäevased kohtumised, on ju, ja kuidas üleüldse partnerid meil meeskonda tulevad, on ju, kui me oleme keegi, kui me armastame ennast, on ju, siis kes meist tahab, kas keegi soovib meid järgida, kui me oleme ei keegi ja ei oska mitte midagi rääkida ja ei saa visioonist aru ja ei oska teist inimestki aidata. Et kas te ise tuleksite sinna ärisse? Järelikult me peame tegelema enesearenguga ja mis on kõige lihtsam eneseareng peale selle, et kui me loeme raamatuid, on siis meie süsteemi järgida. Ehk siis osale kõiges, mis siin toimub, kõiges. Ja see on ka kultuur, et osaleda kõiges. Et mis meil on igapäevased kohtumised, iganädalased kohtumised, küll on Facebookis, kõik on, siis on meeskonnakoolitused, on kolmapäeviti koolitused, on ju, on eventid lõpuks, aga mis toob tulemuse, et me iga päev oleme tegevuses oma nende helistamiste või siis sotsiaalmeediaga, aga kõige suurema edu tuleb sul sellest eventist ja miks? Sellepärast, et evendil enamus sinu kaasa kutsutud külalised või siis olemasolevad partnerid saavad usu ja külalised saavad aru, mis toimub. Event on maru hea, et kui olete ju kuulnud kõike, et oi, mis sul seda äri teha on, sina oled ju haritud, sina oled meil toitumisnõustaja, kõik tulevad. Vikile 100 korda öelda, mis sul viga on äri teha, sina ju särad igal pool ja igal pool sa lobised, on ju. Ermelil on korduvalt öeldud, mis sul pole mingit, sa peadki olema selles äris edukas, sellepärast sa oled ju kogu aeg rõõmus ja kogu aeg seletad midagi. Aga niimoodi nad võib-olla ei tule, kui me üks-ühele räägime. Ja siis võib-olla ongi kõige parem näiteks näidata evendile kutsuda inimene ja näidata seal üht tõsimeelset introverti. Et kui Ermel on selline ekstravert siin seal särab, on ju, palun, võtke ette üks introvert ja vaat, näed, alles teenib siin, on ju. Ja näidake, näe Margus seal, vaat näed, et äkki on siis, ei ole ekstravert, et on tugev eneseareng ja koolitus, et saaks olla ja näe, teenib palju. Ehk siis event on see koht, kuhu too külalisi, seal ei ole ainult siis järelikult täpselt, keda sinul sõber võib-olla sind peegeldusena näeb või kui sul sugulased tuttavad näevad sind kui seda nii-öelda pisikest last. Et väga palju erinevaid inimesi on seal, väga palju erinevatelt ametitelt on. Nad laval räägivad uskumatult ägedat juttu, kõigil inimestel on erinev kogemus. Kõik jääb olemata, kui te ei kutsu evendile külalisi või üritustele külalisi. Te ei saa seda edasi anda, et kutsen pulma, ma pulma ei lähe, kuule pärast kirjuta mulle, kuidas see pulm oli. Sa emotsiooni ei anna edasi mitte kuidagi. Ehk siis, kui me järgime süsteemi, siis meil tuleb usk iseendasse, ettevõttesse ja me saame, ja nii kui see on saavutatud, sa oled võitmatu. Sind ei huvita, ei need ühedki eid, ajutised eid, mis iganes. Sa lähed, sa oled raudkindel ja sa liigud. Et see on, et puhtalt ongi enda veendumus ja usutavus viib sind edasi. Nii jutt ei ole ainult siin Siinost, mis iganes valdkonnas on. Oluline ongi tegelikult see, et ega see siin on mingi imeloom siin ei ole. See on täiesti tavapärane üks ettevõtlusvorm ja kui sa siin saavutad näiteks need samad oskused, sa oled kus iganes läbi täpselt. Et meie kultuuri osa on üks, et õppida ja harida ennast ja siis praktiseerida. Et kui me ei praktiseeri, siis ei tule mitte midagi välja. See kumab kohe läbi, see kumab läbi kohe nii tiimile kui teistele ka. Et kui me ainult nii-öelda targutame ja tegelikult seal päris tegevusi taga ei ole. Et kõige lihtsam ja efektiivsem meetod ongi, et osaleda ja kaasata teisi. Siis on üks infoväli, ühed teadmised ja me dubleerime äri kõige paremini. et pidevalt ju, kui inimesed ei ole ühtses infoväljas, nagu siin Aart rääkis ka, et see äri hakkab omasoodu minema, et küll hakatakse käest kätte, mida müüma, mitte süsteemiga, onju. Et kes ei järgi süsteemi, see ei tööta see äri, et kui kõigil on täpselt sama infoväli, siis äri töötab ja niimoodi saab ainult seda teha, kui me siis osaleme igal pool. Ja loomulikult siis ole ise eeskujuks, onju. Et kui sa mõtled näiteks, et mida sa tegid eile, nädal tagasi, eelmine kuu või näiteks terve aasta, kas sa soovid selliseid inimesi omal tiimi, kas sa soovid isiklikke partnerid tavalisi? Enamus maailma ärisid on inimeste ärid, et nii on nagu meie oma, et inimestele meeldivad eeskujud, keda järgida, täpselt sama. Ja paljud arvavad, et otsemüük on selline huvitav, selline võõrkeha, et ta kuidagi ei ole siia sobiv ärimaastikku või kuidagi see partnerite kaasamine ei ole selline loomupärane. Aga nii huvitav oli see, et ma siin jutustasin ühe vana tuttavaga, polnud temaga ammu rääkinud ja kutsusin eventile, tema ütles ei mulle, aga mul sellest ei ole küll, mul oli väga tore vestlus ja tänu sellele ma näiteks saan jällegi, tekkis idee, et mis ma kannan edasi ja tuletan meelde, et nii huvitavalt, et ta on ühe suure korporatsiooni, Eestis ühe suure korporatsiooni personalitöötaja, ja mida tema ütles kirjelda, mida tema siin sügisel teeb, tema on siis värbab uut tiimiliiget, et ühed läksid lihtsalt ära, ja sügisel tulevad lauale talle, kuidas ta ütles, tulevad lauale talle järelkasvuprojektid, erinevad järelkasvuprojektid ja siis on veel koostöö teiste organisatsioonidega. Igal pool on täpselt sama. Inimesed liiguvad, inimesi tuleb tegelikult uusi motiveerida, siis tuleb õpetada neid ja siis tuleb kasvatada neid ja kogu aeg. Kui me töötame inimestega, siis me räägime, õpetame, kasvatame ja kõige parem seda teha, kui me järgime puhtalt süsteemi, mis on ette kirjutatud. Ja mõelge, kas on lihtne dubleerida tippjuhti, me kõik tahame omale tiimiliidreid meeskonda, aga kuskohast need tiimiliidrid tulevad? Punkt 1, et need tulevad siis, kui sa oled ise tippjuht. Nad tulevad, sõbrad, järgivad sind. Aga kas me ise kasvame, areneme? Kas meil sõbrad, tuttavad kasvavad, arenevad tippjuhtideks? Et seda on kõike võimalik siin teha. Et kui me aitame, kõik õpetame, aitame ja jällegi, kuidas me saame seminaridel seda kõike infot. Nüüd üks väga hea video on, mis tuletab meelde meil, kui meil uued partnerid tulevad ja saadame neile Get Started lehte näiteks. Ma kohe näitan meeldetuletused, mis see oli. Et Get Started lehte ja selle järgi siis teeme nii-öelda partneri kasvuprogrammi ja ma soovitan kõigil partneritel siis ma arvan, et kord kvartalis kindlasti uuesti see Get Started lehekülg ja kõik need läbi vaadata. Ühte, mis ma tahan näidata korra, et ma ei hakka seda Hilde videot vaatama nüüd, aga nii, siis näitan selle asukoha lihtsalt veel uuesti ära. Nii, ehk siis meie Get Started lehekülg. Siin on ilusti meie presentatsioonid, siis on ju, me oleme kõik teame, mis siin on kõik need videod, mis siin taga on, mida täpselt ei oska kliente otsida, partnereid, vaatan klõpsal lahti, vaatan, mida Marko räägib. Aga me räägime eventist täna ja ürituste reklaamimisest, siis seesama 10. Hilde. Ja Hilde täpselt samamoodi räägib, et esiteks piletid, alati me kaasame inimesi ja piletid, edukaks võimendus oluline püsida inspireeritud, motiveeritud. Meie kohalikud ja rahvusvahelised üritused panevad teie meeskonna maksimaalselt tööle. Teie tulemuslikkust mõõdetakse üritusel osalevate meeskonna liikmete arvu järgi ja see on rohkem kui tõsi. Kui sul mitte kedagi, mitte kunagi, mitte kuskil ei ole, siis järelikult siis nad on kõik väga hästi sul online'is kuidagi ära programmeeritud või teevad väga huvitavalt kui teistmoodi tööd, aga ütlen, et 90% vastab tõele, et seal tiimis ei toimugi mitte midagi peaaegu ja tööd ei tehta. Ehk siis vaadake, et teil igal pool inimesed, kui need inimesed on teil üritustel, siis nad on inspireeritud siis nad on infoväljas ja oskavad kõike jagada. Neil on oskused, need vajalikud oskused, mida igapäevast töö on. Et soovitan see Hilde ära vaadata ja mis on oluline ka, mis nüüd nii palju igalt poolt tuleb infot peale, et kas nüüd sina rääkis või meil oli kohe alguses meie müügikoolituse väike sissejuhatus oli, et personaliseerime, et Hilde räägib samamoodi, ära kutsu sinna eventile, et nii, tule saa teadmisi, arstid räägivad. Ausalt öeldes, mõnele inimesele see kindlasti läheb peale, aga saa aru, keda sa kutsud ja saa tema persoonist aru. Kutsuda eventile kui mõnusale vahepalale. Inimesed näiteks, või paljud oleneb, kust kohast inimesed on. Et mõned janunevad näiteks seltskonna järgi, müü seltskonna, müü enda seltskonda. Mõned janunevad peo järgi, müü seda. Ükstas kõik selles mõttes, et sa pead seda nii-öelda lõpptulemit presenteerima, mis inimene saab sellest. Et siis nad tulevad ja ära detailidega üle pinguta. Ma olen siin, ma ei tea, 7 aastat pange pannud oma detailidega dokumentaaliast ja mis iganes kaasa arvatud. Et kõige üpris tihti kõige lihtsam kutse tegelikult eventile on see, et helista, ütle nii, mis sa laupäeval teed? Ei tee midagi, väga hea. Nii, pane kinni, tule minuga. Kõik punkt. Mis seal on? Kuule, väga äge üritus on. Et oleneb täpselt, mis inimene nüüd on, vastavalt neid sõnu sa kasutad. Ja samamoodi, et kui ta ütleb sulle ei, siis ütled selge, okei, pane siis 6. detsember juba kalendrisse, et siis näeme järgmisel eventil või Oslos ja nii edasi. Et ühesõnaga personaliseeri ja kutsu inimesi vahetult, ole sõber ja toeta neid. Nüüd evendil, et ukses meil koputab, siis saage aru, kuhu te tulete. Ja hoolitsege, et teil siis endal on pilet olemas, kaasas ka, et see ei ole kuskile unustatud suvilasse või jumal teab kuhu, teise riiki. Ja vaadake, et te olete oma olemasoleva piletid realiseerinud. Lisaks pluss, kui teil on kõik olemasolevad piletid realiseeritud, siis ei ole mitte niimoodi, et jess, kõik on müüdud. Super, väga tubli oled, jaa. Aga seal võib juhtuda niimoodi, et sellel ühel külalisel, kes pidi tulema, kellel on pilet ja makstud ilusti, jäi kass haigeks, ei jõudnud tulla. Teisel oli kartul ikkagi vaja võtta ja nii edasi. Et alati käituge piletil, kuid isegi füüsiliselt neid ei ole. Müüge rohkem neid pileteid. Ma olen enam kui kindel, et te suudate selle sooduspileti leida kuskilt ikka. Küsige oma ülaliinide käest, kuskilt te leiate. Kui te müüte õhku ja inimene maksid teile 33 eurot kas või ära või palju iganes te küsite, siis jumala eest, küll te saate selle sooduspileti, kuskilt ikka ülaliin aitab. Aga kui ei saa, siis loomulikult paljudel on väga okei 60 euroga koha pealt osta. Aga oluline on see, et kui näiteks teil ülaliin küsib ka, et palju näiteks sul inimesi keeldusid tulemast eventile, siis pole mõistlik öelda, et tead, 2 tükki keeldusid või 2 tükki ei tulnud või et 2 tükki keeldusid ja 3 tükki ütlesid, et tead, nad mõtlevad alles. Ermel isiklikult ma pole sellega nüüd arvet pidanud, aga ma arvan, et mul on 20-30 keeldumist. Järelikult seal on jahid ka sees. Et nii see käibki alati, et event on alati see koht ja afterparty, et kaasake inimesi. Ja mis on veel, et kui te teete seda, siis et see paistaks väljapoole ka, et kui on loodud Facebooki leht eventile, siis palun märkige osalema ennast, oma külalised osalema, kui loomulikult on keeldumine, ei taha välja paista kuidagi salaja, jumala eest, miks mitte. Aga kui sellist totaalse keeldumist ei ole ja kui ei oska leida neid üles Facebookist asju, siis palun küsige nõu, küll aitame, et kus kohas on. Samamoodi, et kui on afterparty korraldamine, et märkige õigel ajal, austage korraldajaid ja kokkasid ja kõike muud, et kui on mingid kuupäevad, siis oleks mõistlik eelnevalt teal õigeaegselt panna kõik kirja, et ei ole palju see palutud. Ja oma ülevaadet siis, kes sul tiimist kohal on. Et siin on planeeritav edu. et oleneb, palju sul partnerid on, aktiivsed partnerid, siis sa saad planeerida edu. Et tavapäraselt meil toimub nüüd äri on 3-kuuliste tsüklitega event'ist event'ini ja peale event'i tavapäraselt, kui on palju külalisi tiimis, siis on palju ka partnerid tuleb, on ju, ja nendega hakkab töö. Ja alati, kui sa ostad pileteid, siis sa alati ostad kas 3 või 6 piletit event'il ja mis on eesmärk uutele partneritele? Sa planeerid, et sul tulevad 3 kuu jooksul vähemalt miinimum 2 oleks mõistlik, on ju, aga võiks ka rohkem, et sul oleks uutel partneritel kindlasti oleks piletid. Et kui ta ostab UPK paketi, sul kohe otsa sinna pilet ka 33 €, järgmine event ole kohal, on ju. Et niimoodi sa kindlustad omale järeltulevad põlved. Ja siis, kui sa planeerid, et kui sul on suurem tiim ja planeerid omale, et kellel kus piletid on, siis võid aidata ka inimesi. Et inimesed võib-olla nad ei oskagi müüa seda piletit või üritust, ei oska kirjeldada, et siis te saate aidata vähemalt. Et ärge oodake seda, et tiimis keegi küsib, et appi, ma ei oska. Mulle nii meeldib naistega tööd teha, sellepärast et naised ikka küsivad, mehed üpris tihti ei taha üldse küsida. Et mehed ei julge küsida kuidagi, et see on nende au pihta, et ma nüüd ei oska. Et väga paljud vähemalt naised julgevad küsida. Et tee oma arvutused, palju on meeskonnas osalejaid, siis tead, et jah, kus kedagi aidata. Et meil on puhas piletite äri, et me müüme ju teadmisi, ideid. Ja loomulikult, et kui me seda kõike ilusti teeme, siis me paneme ju meie viljad kasvama ja me nopime neid vilju ja niimoodi tegelikult see passiivne tulu ei ole ka kaugel. Me dubleerime, oleme efektiivsed, et ega seal muud ei olegi. Ja kõik see toimib, kui me vaatame endasse peeglisse ja oleme kõik võimsad. Et kõik sõltub sinust ja sinu enesekindlusest ning tundest. Kes sa oled alateadvuses, see oled ka päris elus. Et sa võtad vastutuse, julged tegutseda, oled eeskuju ja sul on kõik uksed valla. Täpselt nii see on ja mitte siin, vaid kõikjal on. Ja nagu iga äri, siin on, mida suuremad on meil mahud, seda suurem on sissetulek. Ning nutikalt targalt esitades meil kaasnebki paratamatult see passiivne tulu, et kuidas inimesed jõuavad sinuni ja sinu meeskonnana. Teavitus, reklaam, kaasamine. Ja kõige lihtsam, et ongi, et kui meil on endal suur meeskond, siis on, ja kes kasutab palju tooteid, siis teenibki palju raha. Väga lihtne. Ja loomulikult, kui meil inimestel tervised paranevad, on ju, ja sõbrad teenivad, siis teenime ka ise. No, täpselt hoiame asju lihtsana, kirjeldame lihtsana, et me ei pea kirjeldama, et nii, oled Pauh Silver, teenid nii palju, executive saad 200 telefoniboonust. Et no, millest kasu on sellest numbrist, on ju? Ütle, et palju inimesi ja palju sõpru teenib ise ka, et nii on lihtsam. Ehk siis nagu iga äri, et kõik realiseerub sul, kui järgida laitmatult täna räägitud, on ju, ja paned kõik selle omal dubleerima üle maailma. Ja nüüd ausalt öeldes võta oma kõik kontaktid ette ja too eventile, seminari aasta konverentsile ja paku neile võimalust osaleda meie suurepärasel evendil. Tänud minu poolt.
Suurepärased mõtted. Aitäh, Tanel. Nii ta ongi, et tegelikult kõik on ülimalt lihtne. Enamus asju on meile ette serveeritud ja ongi, et need evendid, need koolitused korraldatakse ju selle jaoks, et meie teekond oleks kiirem ja lihtsam kulgeda. Ja nagu mulle on minu mentorid öelnud algusest peale, et osale kõiges ja sul läheb asjad palju kergemalt edasi. Järgmine esineja tuleb meile Šveitsist, seega vahetame jälle keele. We are very fortunate and happy to have our next presenter online. And we are very fortunate because he's actually in the middle of packing his things, his bags to travel to the ambassador trip to Greece. And this guy is purely amazing. Not only together with his lovely wife have they designed one of my most favorite skin products,
I think a lot of people here are so excited about Hans and Heidi, but also the incredible value that they have brought. Vicky is presenting his Hans and Heidi products as well. But as also his nickname, Dr. Value, is presenting to us, the value that they have brought to our company has been enormous. Like so many times that I have been fortunate to listen to this gentleman, to listen to his wife. They have always something valuable to share. The ideas that they have given are straight from practice. And there's no wonder that just recently he was actually at the awards ceremony of Association of Network Marketing Professionals, where he was given a reward of legendary leader. So he has amazing background, amazing experience in our industry, brought a lot of value to our industry for now over 30 years. And we are so happy to have you here with us. So our amazing elite president from Switzerland, Dr. Sven Goebel.
Hey, thank you, Marcus. This was a very nice introduction. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm in the middle of flying around between the boards and the suitcases, and we got to leave the house by tomorrow, 6 a.m. So sorry for the confusion. You were thinking that I was already in Greece. Hey, I wish I was already in Greece, but no. I'm at home dashing through the chaos, packing the bags, and that's why we are still in our, I think, in the same time zone as you are, right? It's what time is it? 7:45. That's my time, and in Greece, I think they are an hour ahead. Anyways, I'm happy to be here with the team. Just surprised that everybody has the camera off. Is that something that always happens in the teams? It's always when I do meetings, and I'm an old guy, you know, I've been in the industry for 34 years. And I come from a totally offline business model, right? So we had to, in order to have an event like this here, we had to meet somewhere, you know, we had to book a hotel room or the back room of a restaurant. We had to invite people. People had to get dressed, and they had to fuel the car, and they had to drive. And if the distance was longer, they even had to spend the night. It was expensive, and then the room had to be paid, or at least you had to negotiate some dinners. And what happened was, it was costly, it was very time consuming. And now imagine if you finally in this room, you speak to the audience and everybody would sit there with a bag over his head. That's a little bit like I feel when I only see names and no faces. And maybe some are in the bathroom, some are in bed, and I can tell you, I have seen some are lighting up right now. Thank you for listening in here and showing yourself. You have such beautiful faces. Why do you hide? So, but I must tell you, in a few occasions, I've seen people who'd better shut off their camera because they probably weren't even aware that they had them on. And you see a lot of interesting scenarios, which is always very fun for the rest of the audience because they see that too. Okay, anyway, so thank you for, and it doesn't matter. I see somebody driving, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. You know, when we were driving all these distances, what we did in the past, we were listening to cassette tapes. Some of you are so young, you don't even know what a cassette tape is probably, but a cassette tape is a small device with a band. There's a magnetic band in it, and it plays off like an old video film. You know, you put it in your stereo, and then you can listen to Jim Rohn or some other trainers, and that's how we educated ourselves while driving. I'm from Germany, so we have long distances and super fast highways and a lot of traffic jam. And I actually grew up in my early days doing network marketing on these highways, driving from city to city, from appointment to appointment. And what was even more frustrating was sometimes, because we didn't have any cell phones in the early days even, you drove somewhere and 3-4 hours for an appointment, and something happened in between with the person you wanted to meet, and for some reason they couldn't show up, but there was no way to let you know that they wouldn't be there. You were already on the highway. You know, you were driving for 4 hours, and suddenly you find out this person isn't there. You eat something, drive back, frustrated. You use the time, not to waste it completely, to listen to educational tapes. And then if everything is good, next day you get a phone call on your landline where he or she apologizes why they could not make it to the appointment, okay? And then you try it again next week to go down there or had them meet you halfway or whatever. If I think how complicated this business was, how expensive it was, how slow it was, compared to today where we can leverage technology so easily. First of all, we meet in a Zoom call. You are in Lithuania and probably in some other parts of the world. I'm here in Switzerland. I need to pack my bags and drive to the airport. There would be no way that you could have had invited me to some of your fantastic events live that night because I would have turned you down, but I can do it. All of you are sitting somewhere at home or in the car, driving, listening in. Costs you nothing to be part of this meeting. Nobody's going to charge you for this meeting. We got charged before the room. Guests were paying, partners were paying more in order to reimburse the room rental, right? That's very normal. You know it from the offline events, but we had to do it also for the smaller events. And then people didn't have time to look into things. We couldn't show them much. We didn't have any online registration. We had them to sign a contract. They wanted to take it home to read through it first. Then it never got sent. I mean, and we still built massive organizations with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of turnover and tens of thousands of people in the downline. And today, it is so incredibly more simple because we have access to everything we need 24/7. And let's say if I was at a meeting live 25, 30 years ago, and there was only 8 people in the room, happened, I was hungry to do another meeting right afterwards. But I couldn't because where should I get the people from? I had to drive home and wait for the next week or the next few days. If something goes wrong here in one of your Zoom calls or in one of your meetings, you can jump on the next Zoom call with another group right after. Or you can call somebody tonight for a Zoom call to show them the back office or video or whatever right after. What I'm saying is, while we had excuses and we were limited by time and circumstances, today you guys, us, we are not. This is not an excuse anymore. We are not limited at all by anything. The only thing that limits us is our belief and the excuses we are telling ourselves every single day on why we can't perform as fast as we can perform. It's a little bit like in the gym. I'm not the best one with gym memberships because I start training like a champion and 3 months later I start finding excuses and then I become passive. I've done it multiple times in my life, okay? I'm not the most disciplined guy when it comes to gym memberships. But you know, and then next summer at the beach, I'm not happy, of course, because I could have done more. I know that, but I wasn't disciplined. And the same person who signed their membership in the same week like I signed mine, maybe they trained much less in the beginning, but they pulled through 6 months, 18 months, 3 years, 5 years. Guess what the difference is between me and that person after 3 to 5 years? It is just unbelievable. And this person, if I would run into this person again, this person would be a mirror to myself, showing me where my indecisiveness and my lack of discipline has taken me. Correct? Very simple. And that's exactly the same thing with this business. It's very comparable to a gym membership. Actually, the membership's even for free. And the diet and nutrition we get by profession. So it's even simpler, okay? So we are super well equipped to have the health, the clarity, and the energy to pull through. That's what our products do for us automatically. But yet, we are sometimes so much slower than the others. And the question is why? And this is again us. This is our decision or our indecisiveness to pull through. What I learned was that at least for the first 3 years, you have to work 1,000 days as if there's no tomorrow. And you got to change your life towards that effort. Well, some of you might be longer in the business than 3 years. Then my advice would be, if you're not happy with the first 3 years or the second 3 years you've done, start with new 3 years. Make a new 1,000-day decision today, or latest in Oslo at annual convention, because then we're gonna see one of the biggest celebrate. And I'm so incredibly excited to be in Oslo, because I have never witnessed in my 30 years a 20-year anniversary celebration of such a great, amazing company like Zinzino is. I think we're going to see a mega show, a monstrous mega show for 3 days. It's going to blow us away. And latest then, and there will be people in the room who will do that, I believe that we are going to do a new decision. We can just forget everything that has been, especially when we're long in the business, and say, okay, what would I do if I was brand new in Zinzino today? If I just heard about it. This is how we have to get up in the morning one day in the future. Maybe tomorrow, maybe you want to wait for Oslo, but don't wait too long. But one day you got to be at a point where you make this decision to reset yourself and say, okay, everything I've seen and everything I've learned, I take as a bonus, because probably I don't need to go through everything again. Because honestly, and that's not different for me, we learn more from the things that don't work than from the things that work for us. Okay? So I believe we have much more negative experience on things and even on people than positive experience. So all the negative experience you have collected, which is a great education and a great teacher, we got to, in the end of the day, be grateful for our negative experiences, has given you a jump start. It's giving you a jump start if you now want to seriously get started. Okay? That is very, very important. So we are at a point now where we have to make this decision. We have to make the decision to fully unlock our potential from tomorrow, or latest from Oslo. That is extremely important. And what we find is we find a better us. We are better than we were when we started. Even if you don't feel the success, you've learned a lot. You're a better person. You've met a lot of great people who have proven that it works, including myself. Okay? I'm just 3.5 years with the company. We have proven, a lot of people inside Zinzino, that you can do it fast, that you can become an elite president in 2.5 years. It's possible. It's possible. Okay, yes, you need some certain circumstances, and my success wasn't an overnight success. It has been based on 30+ years of experience. Now, I don't want to debate that, but at the end of the day, we see that somebody like us can at least leverage the legacy inside Zinzino. That's a fantastic situation to be in. You know, I'm here to leverage my legacy. Legacy means I have learned a lot. I got this award. Yes, I'm very grateful. I wasn't expecting any reward at all, and I was really blessed to receive that award in Dallas at the very prestigious Association for Network Marketing Professionals. And it was a lifetime award. It was a legacy award. And the good thing is, this is now my chapter 4, spoken in 34, spoken in years. You're not, most of you are not 34 years in this business. But the situation that I have the opportunity to leverage my legacy here in Zinzino shows all of you that you are at least in the right vehicle. And the only thing you got to worry about every single day is that you drive it to perfection. The vehicle is perfect. Super drivers, like now we change from gym to Formula One, right? The top drivers, the ex-Michael Schumachers and the Kimi Räikkönens, these guys, if they can win races with the car and you got the same car, You know, you just need to become a better driver. It's not the problem of the car, it's the problem of you. But I can tell you one thing, the more you drive, the more ambitious you are, the more hungry you are, the better driver you will be very soon. You're definitely not going to get worse. I've never seen anyone in anything practicing more, getting worse at it. Doesn't exist, correct? So practice more, practice faster, be more efficient, and set new priorities will make you better, will make you stronger, and in the end of the day, will make you free. And that's where we are here in Zinzino. So recalibrate yourself. Maybe question everything you've been doing up to this point. And the headline I would throw at you right now, tonight, is simplicity. Everything you do now, monitor its simplicity or complexity. Now, what is a good indicator for that things are simple? First of all, they have to be fun, kind of easy to do, you know, and they have to start duplicating with other people. Everything that is complex is never fun and never duplicates. So whatever you do in your daily tasks, if there's things that are not fun and don't duplicate, probably you should change those and find a better way so that they are fun and that they start duplicating. Simplicity is key. There's two kinds of simplicity. The initial simplicity is the simplicity that we experience when we start a brand new person in the business. Maybe you've seen that. Sometimes somebody signs up brand new, probably never done network before, and pretty quickly they have their first 3 to 5 people signed up and a few customers, correct? Happens often. And after a while, you see that this slows down. The person is not so free anymore. The person is not so easy anymore. And probably it is because they have been starting to attend trainings programs. Yeah, that is actually putting weight on their shoulders, and the easiness, just like a kid walking through a lawn with flowers and says, "Oh, I love the world is so beautiful, everything's so simple, blue sky, sun, it smells good, this is the world," right? And when they grow up, they see that the world is much different. That's exactly the same what we guide our people through. In the beginning, it's just honeymoon, and then after honeymoon, it becomes complex. When it becomes complex, it's not fun anymore. When it's not fun anymore, it doesn't duplicate anymore. When it doesn't duplicate anymore, it stops. Bam! That's exactly the situation we see. Now, what is the solution? No training? Probably not. The solution is to master that complexity and bring it back to another kind of simplicity. And the other kind of simplicity is geniosity. The first simplicity I talked about is profanity. Everything is just simple. Nobody knows better. They just do it and get some results. Okay? That's good. Fair enough. I like this part. I like people having that experience. And then when it becomes complex, everything is so hard. And people just, that's why most of them almost quit or do even quit. And that's the point where they have to master that complexity, understand it's complex, complicated, and they have to get back into simplicity again, filtering everything they've learned and they are learning from the training into fun and duplication. That is so important. Now, what do you have to look at? What you have to look at is 3 things: the recruiting part, the socializing part, and the learning part, because that's what our business is about, right? Recruiting, socializing, and learning. What do we recruit? We recruit customers or partners. When do we recruit whom? We decide, because that depends on the language that we speak. When we speak the language of science, we probably recruit a customer who wants to try the product. When we speak the language of vision and expansion, we probably have somebody buying into our idea. So whatever you want, customers or partners, doesn't depend on the person you speak to. It depends on exactly you, what kind of language you use. So learn to master your language. And then find a very simple daily method of operation process. Can be a pipeline, can be a funnel, can be a circle, where you put people in and get them into the system. That's the recruiting part, okay? The socializing part is the most important part. That's the event structure as a team, like daily events, weekly events, bi-weekly events, monthly event, quarterly event, semi-annual event, and then yearly events, right? What is happening in your downline, but not only the events that you organize as an upline, it's actually what happens between people every single day. How many Zoom calls are happening in my downline when I, as the upline, am not watching? Are they working? Are they meeting? Are they talking? Are they booking meetings? That's important. And you have to give this some structure, again, that it is simple and fun. So look at the formats. What do you have to do? What we've done, I can tell you what we have done in the very beginning. The business presentations we have instantly separated in two different ones. One is a business presentation and the other one is a product presentation. Why is that important? Because you can hardly do a product and a business presentation in one meeting, because in the same meeting you would have to zoom in and zoom out at the same time with your language. You have to speak the language of science when you talk about the product. You have to speak the language of vision expansion when you offer the business opportunity. That irritates people. So what we tell them, hey, if you want to know all about the products, get into our product Thursday. That's where you have a doctor speak or somebody else who is kind of a professional, goes very deep into the human body cell, explains all the details, and nobody's expecting anything else. So that's where you go, right? And you don't hear too much about what that business can bring you that night. But if you want to know how that works, you show up not Thursdays, you show up Tuesdays, and that's where you get the full blast of the vision on how to change your life with that vehicle. And it's not so much about the products anymore, because we can excuse ourselves and say, hey, this is not much about the products, just a little bit of headline, a different language about the product. If you want to know more, come back Thursday. So we play ping pong with these two events, and it's very simple for people to grasp. And from that, we build weekend events like basic trainings, leadership meetings, and so on. What I'm saying is, event structure is really important, needs to be transparent, simple, and duplicatable. And then the third one is learning, which relates to the training. The question is, what do you teach? And there's a saying where people say, those who don't have a system, those who have a system only teach the system. Those who don't have a system have to teach everything. So if you have a system that people understand and where the duplication is embedded and it is simplified to a way that it is fun and doable and everybody sees instantly, oh, I think I can do this too, then there's nothing more you need to talk about. This is all they need to know. And then they need to know how to use the tools. Point, guide, direct. I said that on a director trip. I say it from every stage. Anytime somebody asks me a product question, no matter when and about which product, and I can say that because I have a doctorate degree in science, I am entitled to say that because I could answer a lot of product questions. My only answer is I sent you a video. I never go into a product discussion with anyone in Zinzino at no times. Say, you want to know about balance oil? I sent you a great video, much better than I could ever share with you. You want to know how the balance test works? I sent you a video. You know what the health protocol is? I sent you a video. Bam. And the good thing is that in that moment, people instantly say, oh, wow, I can do this too. I don't have to be an expert in science and have to know everything about dry blood spot tests and so forth and microbiome. I just have to point, guide, direct. And yes, this is exactly how we build our business. Again, as you can hear, simplicity, 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 simplicity. Simplicity duplicates, simplicity is fun. Everything else is complicated, heavy, slow, and boring. Okay? So that's kind of the system you guys should put in place in order to speed up. And I would urge you, maybe inside the team or for yourself, to declutter your mind when it comes to your Zinzino business. Declutter it like you would renovate your home. Before you can renovate your home, what do you got to do? You got to clean it out, right? You got to make all these rooms empty, and you'll find a lot of stuff that you will trash because you haven't used it for the past 3 years. And then you find some good things you've been looking for all over, but you didn't find it because all the clutter was there. And once you renovate your home and you refurbish it, you will find a different home. You feel much better, you feel stronger, and your life is going to be better again. It's exactly what we need to do with the business, especially when we've been around for a few years. Okay? Good. I got to go and pack my suitcase. I hope I could help you with some tips and ideas. I'd love to see you in Oslo. Hope you're coming, and wish you a wonderful evening. Thanks for having me, Marcus.
Thank you so much, Sven. That was truly value as we are used to get from Dr. Value. So let's keep things simple. Let's keep things short and let everybody to go for the next Zoom as you suggested that, hey, if you finish one Zoom, just start with another one. And most definitely, Sven, we'll all see you in Oslo and hopefully soon also on all the ambassador trips as well.
Yes, so please come.
Thank you and much love to your family.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, friends.
Bye-bye. Tänane oli no ikka külluslik koolitus, ma arvan, siit saime nii palju kõike häid nõuandeid ja mõtteid, et seda tasub seedida. Ja nagu Tanel juba nõudis siin, et on vaja ka salvestust, siis kindlasti sellega saadame, sest kindlasti on väga hea neid asju siin korrata. Suurepärane. Igatahes ma ütleks, et igaüks võib patsutada ennast õlale, et oli täna kohal. Kindlasti soovitan jagada seda salvestust siis ka oma tiimi liidritega ja võtta kõik nõuanded ka, mis Tanel ja Viktor andsid ja kindlasti teha siis teatud sammud, et teha endale, nagu öeldakse, the rest of your life, the best of your life, aga ka järgmisest eventist kõige parim event ja võtta sealt kõige suurem väärtus enda ja oma tiimi jaoks. Ja Viktor nagu korralik õpilane ikka tõstab käe ilusti püsti, seega Viki.
No see oli täna oli tõesti täielik pomm oli see tänane koolitus, et no ülivõrdes, ülikõva. Kallid sõbrad, meil ei saa kunagi olla liiga palju külalisi, uusi partnereid koos meiega evendil. See oli see tänase Silver koolituse põhieesmärk, et saada meie sellest saaksime aru. Meil on nädal aega, võtame veel 1-2 inimest endaga evendile kaasa, sest sellest sõltub sinu, meie kõikide sügisene ja tulevaste aastate äri, kui palju inimesi on evendil. Sinu tiim on täpselt nii suur, kui palju on sinu tiimist inimesi evendil. Nii et ajame liinid kuumaks. See on number 1 ülesanne, et evendil istuks vähemalt 2 külalist meiega evendil kaasas. Mida rohkem, seda rohkem. Aitäh!
Suurepärane, seega asume kõik tööle, võtame sellest maksimumi ja nagu ka Sven ütles, let's have fun with it. Seega kohtumiseni laupäeval ja imelist õhtut kõigile.
Aitäh, tšau!
Tšau!